but only I knew Luca's success stood on the shoulders of my recipes. Mine, not his. Never his. My name is Elena Valentine. I was once the youngest female chef in New York to earn 2 Michelin stars. The critics said my cooking has soul. Soul is too abstract. To be specific, my soul comes from my mother, a woman from Sicily.
Elena, spices have temperature. Feel them with your fingertips. Rosemary is warm, mint is cool, saffron is like the sun.
I carved every word she said into my bones. Later, I used those bones to hold up a restaurant. My husband, Luca Bellamy. We graduated side by side, opened a restaurant side by side, took our stars side by side. To everyone on the outside, we were the power couple of the restaurant world. But only I knew Luca's success stood on the shoulders of my recipes. Mine, not his. Never his. I always thought he was backing me up, helping me preserve our work. It started in our first year of marriage. 8 years. He filmed for 8 years. The doctors named it gustatory associative disorder, a subtemp of post-traumatic stress, and there is no cure. I didn't tell Luca. Not that night. Not the next. I kept cooking. I kept smiling. I kept playing the role, but my palate was disappearing. Not all at once. One by one, saffron, rosemary, thyme, sage, every spice that reminded me of him became my enemy.
You okay?
Fine. Just tired.
Elena's always been my muse, my inspiration.
Muse. That's a respectable word. It means she provides the ideas, I execute. But the truth is, she provides, I steal, and then pretend it's mine.
The interview is confirmed. Next Wednesday. Yes, I'm going alone. She hasn't recovered yet. And of course, the menu was designed by me. Always has been.
I took months to decide. In the end, I didn't choose divorce. I chose to disappear. I don't need the money. I need the freedom.
Mrs. Valentine, are you sure you don't want to negotiate?
I don't need the money. I need the freedom. I left with an old suitcase. Inside were 5 recipe notebooks, not the stolen ones, but new ones I'd recorded quietly in the kitchen, dishes I hadn't yet made. They were my last seeds. I flew west, not Los Angeles, not San Francisco. A town that needs magnifying glass to find. Camberna. Population under 6,000. No professional oven. No sous vide. No vacuum sealer. Just a rattling old gas stove and a rusted fridge. I stood in this kitchen and thought, enough. He stole my recipes. I cooked for him for 8 years. He spent 5 turning my food into his. I got sick.
I saw your ad at the gas station. Reservation only. 1 dish, $5.
What do you want to eat?
Don't know. Whatever you make.
I didn't ask why he came. I saw something in his eyes. Not appetite. Fatigue. The kind that comes after 20 years on the road. I used Saffron's gentler cousin, Croquis. The flavor is lighter, warmer.
You talk first. Then I eat.
I had a husband. He stole my recipes. I cooked for him for 8 years. He spent 5 turning my food into his. I got sick. Not in my body, in my tongue. Every ingredient he stole, I tasted him. So I ran here.
My daughter is a chef too. She got married and stopped cooking. I miss her. Help the next one.
Do you hate him?
I did.
1 dish? $5?
What's your specialty?
My specialties were stolen, but I had new ones. New dishes the thief had never touched.
Are you going to tell a story? What's it about?
I used to have a restaurant in New York, 2 Michelin stars. My ex-husband was my partner. He stole my recipes and claimed them as his. I got sick, couldn't taste anything he took, so those dishes are gone. This one is new. Nobody's stolen it yet.
Do you hate him?
I did. But hate covers up flavor. I don't want hate to ruin this dish. Salty, but after the salt, sweet, the fish's own sweetness. Yes, that's the truth. After the bitter, the sweet comes out. Learning to live with betrayal is harder than learning French cuisine. You open a restaurant here? Not a restaurant. A kitchen. What do you cook? You tell me. I cook. I own a restaurant in LA. Not a chef. My head chef stole my money and ran. Not love, trust. Trust stolen hurts more than money. What does this taste? What do you taste? Sweet, sour, bitter? Yes, that's what betrayal tastes like. Do you know how to cure this sickness? No, but I've learned to live with it. For what? Tuition. Learning to live with betrayal is harder than learning French cuisine.
I don't need a story. I just need to eat. This is not your story.
How do you know?
When he cooked your one and thick, he went inside base. One gigabyte him. Tomorrow I bring fish. You cook, I don't eat. Give it to the next guest.
For the first time since I came here, I realized I wasn't running away. I was building.
You're online. Some truck driver posted about you.
My mom's on chemo. She wants to eat your food. We saw it online.
Online? Is White.
The truck driver. He said your soup was good. And your story, too.
Not my usual style, but it's what you need right now. Not flavor. Warmth. You talk first. I ran here because my tongue got sick. Every time I tasted something that reminded me of someone I didn't want to remember, I got sick. I thought running far enough would make it go away. But it doesn't. It's not about flavor, it's about what's inside. When I got sick, my husband left. Not because he didn't love me, because he didn't dare. He couldn't watch me grow old, ugly, weak. He ran. You ran too. We're both runners.
Your kitchen, your food, your story, and what was stolen.
That night I didn't sleep. I thought about what the mother said. We're both runners. No, I wasn't running. I was looking.
Do you know this man?
He's my ex-husband.
I'm Daniel, food critic. My column is called The Fork's Judgment. I want to write about you, your kitchen, your food, your story, and what was stolen.
I wasn't afraid of Luca. I was afraid I wasn't ready. But a chef's pan doesn't wait for readiness. Cold food is hard to reheat it. The stolen ones. If I cook them again, would that mean they were his?
No rush. My kitchen is always open.
I didn't say yes. Because once it's published, Luca would know where I am. He wouldn't come to apologize. He'd come to silence me. I wasn't afraid of Luca. I was afraid of the dishes. The stolen ones. If I cooked them again, would that mean they were his? No, it would mean they were mine. I just never admitted it. Not of the interview, of the memories.
I heard a journalist found you.
Yeah.
Are you scared?
Not of the interview, of the memories.
Then don't do it. Wait until you're not scared.
Not of the interview, of the memories.
Then never do it.
I looked at the sea. The wind was strong, the waves were high. But the tide would recede. So would my fear. "10 dishes. 20 more." In the days that followed, I did one thing. I cooked every stolen recipe again. Not for guests. For myself. I needed to know if my tongue still hurt. On my tongue. Not betrayal. Seawater. Not New York Sea. Cambria's. I'd lived here long enough. The sea had soaked into my skin. Deeper than any spice. Rosemary reminded me of Luca trimming the backyard bushes. Not a good memory. Not a bad one. Just distant. "10 dishes. 20 more." I reacquainted myself with my recipes. They weren't Luca's. They were mine. I gave birth to them. They carried my fingerprints, my temperature, my sweat. Not the first on the menu. The first in my heart.
What was the first dish you ever made?
Tomato sauce pasta. My mother taught me when I was 5. Her own tomatoes, her own sauce. No chemicals, just sun, salt, and thyme. She said good tomato sauce doesn't need much. The tomato speaks for itself. Later, I used her recipe for the restaurant. Luca said it was too simple for Michelin. He wanted truffles, foie gras, foam. I didn't listen. This dish wasn't for the critics. It was for my mother. She's gone, but her taste is in my food.
Is this your first dish?
Not the first on the menu. The first in my heart.
Good. I'll write that.
Read it first. If you don't want it published, it won't be.
These 3. Are these the ones he stole?
The saffron seafood soup was his biggest success. Mission gave it high scores. Critics said it defined new American seafood. They didn't know the woman who defined it was a victim of abuse. Not physical, creative. He didn't steal my dish, he stole my identity. The next morning he left. He left the handwritten draft on the table.
Read it first. If you don't want it published, it won't be.
The article wasn't long, a few thousand words. It didn't name Luca, but it mentioned a New York 3-star chef. It mentioned plagiarism, betrayal, escape, and it mentioned Cambria. Her tongue is sick, but her hands remember. Every dish is testimony. Every bite is judgment. Not court judgment, taste judgment. The judge is her guest. The jury is her stove. I closed the draft, took a breath, and texted Daniel. Publish it.
Mr. Bellamy is willing to pay you a creative licensing fee on the condition that you retract all false allegations.
I haven't made any allegations. I just cook. There are no names in my food, only flavor.
But your story mentioned him.
My story mentioned an ex-husband. Who that is, the readers can guess. I didn't say a name.
Elena, I brought seafood. Air fried from Sicily yesterday. Want to cook it?
Luca, did you come here for the seafood? You've seen me. You can go.
Then, can you forgive me? Elena, I want to apologize.
An apology doesn't require a trip to the beach. It requires the truth in the media.
I can say it. But you have to retract the stories. Then, can you forgive me?
No. Not because you were too wrong. Because I was hurt for too long. Forgiveness isn't a switch. It's a door. The door opens from the inside. I'm not ready to open it from the inside yet.
The cooler is for you.
But I needed silence more. Daniel's article was reposted, not the full piece, an excerpt. The title changed to Judgment by the Sea. My phone exploded. Not with journalists, with strangers who wanted to book a table. My notebook filled up. But I only have one table, one dish per night. Not because I can't expand, because I can only tell so many stories. I turned down a book deal, several TV offers, a documentary, not because I didn't need the money. I did. The kitchen needed a new fridge, the stove needed repairs, the house needed a stronger foundation, but I needed silence more. The quiet of Canberra was my last medicine. If I stopped taking it, the illness would return. Luca's restaurant began to face questions. Not an investigation. Public opinion. No one had proof. But public opinion doesn't need proof. It needs doubt. Doubt is a seed. Water it, and it grows. The water was Daniel's article, the online discussions, the whispers of diners. I did nothing. I just cooked. I couldn't hand my children over, not even to a court.
Mrs. Valentine, is this dish your creation?
Yes.
Do you have proof?
I have handwritten recipe manuscripts, dated 2 years before Bellumi's menu launched. Not a conviction, a review, but a review itself is punishment. A restaurant under review means trust is suspended. In the restaurant business, suspended trust means suspended customers. Luca didn't call. His lawyer did. They wanted my original recipe manuscripts for the investigation. I didn't say no, didn't say yes. I said I needed time to think. Not a delay. I didn't know. Those manuscripts were my children. I couldn't hand my children over, not even to a court.
I want to eat your food. Not an interview, a meal. I want to eat your food. Not an interview, a meal. Why won't you hand over the manuscripts?
Because they're not evidence. They're my diary. Every page records my marriage to Luca. From love to betrayal. I don't want strangers flipping through my diary.
Then what are you gonna do?
I don't know. Maybe nothing. Let time handle it.
Elena, your food has no hate.
Does it?
No. Only nostalgia. Not for him. For the you who still believed in love.
That me died. Killed in the kitchen, bit by bit. This me is different. No hate, but no belief either. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. The investigation lasted months. They didn't need my manuscripts. They found old menus in Lucia's kitchen with my handwritten notes. The conclusion. The dishes matched, and my handwriting predated the restaurant. His stars fell, one by one. His restaurant closed. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. It was just over. Not with my victory, with my silence. I never sued, never gave a statement. I just cooked. The food spoke for me. Luca left New York. He went to Europe, opened a small pizzeria in southern Italy. No Michelin, no 3-star chef, just a normal person. He sent me a postcard. It said one word, sorry. I didn't reply, not out of coldness, because I didn't need to. Have you ever thought about how your story could help more people? Elena, will you ever leave here? Leave? Where? Back to New York. Open a big restaurant? No. My kitchen is only this big. One table, one guest, one dish. I don't need more. Have you ever thought about how your story could help more people? Not just the ones who come here to eat? How? Online courses? A book? Videos? You have so many followers. I don't care about followers. I care about the people sitting at that table. Their eyes, their breath, their tears. I can't taste those through a screen. No. I just cook. Food doesn't lie. Screens do. Your grandmother was Italian.
Your hands are steadier than before.
Really?
No more shaking. You used to shake when you cut onions. Not from cold, from fear. Now you're not afraid anymore.
He was right. My fear had receded like the tide, not gone, just out of sight, below the surface.
This is my grandmother's recipe. Onions cook soft, add tomatoes, add basil, simmer for a long time.
Your grandmother was Italian.
Sicily. Same as your mother.
He smiled. I saw it for the first time. Not a lip curl. His eyes curved, like waves hitting a rock, spreading into white foam, brief, but beautiful.
Miss Valentine, I want to write your story, not news. A feature for a magazine.
You recorded me.
Won't use it. Just for details. Details aren't evidence. They're temperature.
Then write it.
I need to bribe you into not saying no to me.
She left money in the glass jar. Not for the meal. Protection money, she called it. I didn't laugh. She did.
I know. Why not add another table? After that article was published, my reservation list grew even longer. Not because I became famous, because I became real.
Elena, the list is full for the next 2 months.
I know. Why not add another table? One more table means one more story. I only have this many stories. In this world full of filters and fake smiles, reality is a rare commodity. People drive hours to eat one meal, hear one story, then cry. Not because I tell it well, because they need to cry. Tears are detox. I put the recipe in a drawer. Didn't reply. Not because I didn't care. Because I didn't need to. He finally started cooking his own food. Late is better than never. I didn't use his recipe. Not to avoid it. Because I didn't need it. I have my own tomato sauce recipe, my own basil growing technique, my own dough fermentation schedule. They're not the best, but they're mine. I couldn't say that word before. If I said my dishes, Luca would say our restaurant, our marriage, our future. No mine, only ours.
Afraid it would make me miss her too much. I want to order something, not from your menu, from my memory. When I was a child in a small town in Sicily, my mother used to make a vegetable soup, no meat, but very fragrant. After she died, I never drank it again. Not because I didn't want to, because I was afraid. Afraid it would make me miss her too much. What is this?
The soup in your memory. Not exactly the same, but I tried. In the glass jar, there was money and a dried flower. Rosemary. She must have picked it from the bush by the door.
You cut it. Poets don't need to cut onions. Chefs do.
The dried flower wasn't just any flower. It was rosemary. I put it in the first page of my recipe book, not to cook with it, to remember.
Elena, do you still think about him when you cook?
Yes, but it doesn't hurt anymore.
Why?
Because the place that hurt grew a callus. Calluses aren't pretty, but they're tough.
You talk like a poet. Here, you cut it. Poets don't need to cut onions. Chefs do.
She took the knife. Her hand was steady. She wouldn't cry cutting onions the way I used to. She took the knife. Her hand was steady. She wouldn't cry cutting onions the way I used to.
2. From New York.
Any guests tonight?
2. From New York.
New York. Your old place?
Not afraid. New York is past tense. Canberra is present time.
Elena, this fish was caught this morning?
A few hours ago.
Thank you for the fish. And thank you for your story.
What happened to the person in your story? What happened to him?
He left New York. Do you hate him? No. He's not worth it.
I heal strangers with flavor, and with flavor, I heal myself. Tonight there are no guests. I made soup with whatever was in the fridge.
Just dug. Still sandy. Use them for soup.
Sit. The soup is ready.
Tomorrow I'll give it to the mailman, the grocery store owner, the strangers passing by. Not business, sharing. Sharing isn't transaction. Sharing is letting someone taste something and remember not the dish, but the person. My name is Elena Valentine. I'm not a Michelin chef, not a best-selling author, not an influencer. I'm a woman cooking by the sea in Canberra. I heal strangers with flavor, and with flavor, I heal myself. Tomorrow, there will be new guests, new stories, new tears, new empty plates. My work has no end, and doesn't need one. Because every time I serve a dish, every time I tell a story, every time a plate is empty, I'm doing the same thing, piecing myself back together, piece by piece. Not back to what I was, but into something new. New doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be whole.